And we're back for episode 11 of the City of Champions podcast, where it is my job to introduce you, the listener, to the most interesting people in Edmonton from the world of business, sports, and the arts. Today, I'm happy to announce I have my first musical guest, and hopefully the first of many. I think that music is such an important part of all of our lives, and we rarely understand exactly what goes on behind the scenes, so it's fun to kind of take a peek behind the curtain. I'm really pumped about my guest, Mitchell Lawler. You guys might recognize him from around town as the one with the brilliantly long and luscious hair. He also happens to be a musician, an MC, a rapper, an artist. This guy's just bubbling with positivity. He just released his first Kickstarter campaign, and in conjunction with his first music video, he hopes with this campaign to start and fund his original EP. So guys, search his name, Mitchell Lawler, on Kickstarter. In our conversation today, we talk about who his musical inspirations were, transitioning from a basement rapper, as he refers to himself in a past life, to full-time artist, MC, and producer, and the legitimacy that comes with that, making it a career, really. We talk a little bit about Mitchell's past and a tragic event that happened to him and his family that he really used to inspire positivity in himself, and he hopes can do the same for others. And we also talk about succeeding as a direct result of not being afraid to fail, which I think is absolutely vital. Anyone who knows Mitch knows he's a phenomenal guy, and I really hope you guys enjoy this discussion with him because he's just top notch. Enjoy. Mitch Lawler, what's going on, brother?
You know, just here at Homestead in the morning, hanging out.
Yeah, excuse the traffic sound or sirens if we hear it or whatever that is. Man, what's going on in your life? Exciting times right now.
Oh man, there is a lot going on right now. A lot of things.
Fill us in.
Well, you know, I'm really trying to make the push from, you know, basement rapper to full-time artist, so it's obviously a pretty big leap. So kind of what I've done to sort of accelerate the process is yesterday I went public with a Kickstarter, and then I also released a music video to kind of help, you know, spread awareness of the whole thing, and well, as a musician, get a track out there. So yeah. That's kind of been my main focus over the last little while, is kind of just getting those things together to kind of release them together.
And when you say get a track, you mean like a real produced, like professionally done song, not just one you're kind of doing on your computer, and as you put it, rapping over Jay-Z beats.
Yeah, exactly. So it's you know, it's a track produced by my dude Colin Dunbar. He's a pretty dope producer from Edmonton. We ended up connecting on it, and then you know, I recorded it at my studio, Phone Mountain Studios, and then took it to Donna over at Resonate, got it mixed and mastered up, and now it's sounding pretty good. I'm really proud of it.
What was the name of that one?
The track?
Yeah.
It's called Ease Up.
So that's Ease Up, and that's the one that you launched the music video with at the same time as the Kickstarter, right?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
So how's the Kickstarter doing?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very, I could not, it's overwhelmingly amazing. It's just going pretty sweet. My first goal was 3,000. We already hit that. And then we're almost there to about 6,000 is the next goal. So we're kind of floating towards 5,500 around there right now. So
yeah, and it's kind of incremental goals too, right? Like there's no cap. People should keep donating,
yes,
right?
exactly.
But the more they donate, the more you're going to be able to produce and put together.
So like right now, my ultimate goal is like 12,000. But honestly, I with how things have been going and how much support I've been receiving and people referring their friends to check it out, like I think it's possible to even go above that. Like I don't want to, you know, jinx myself or anything, but I'm doing everything in my power for the next like 23 days that I got left. So
yeah. Okay, so if you could sum up yourself musically in a sentence, what would that be?
A nice guy. No, honestly, I'm just trying to spread love and kind of positivity. As cliche as that may sound, like music did a lot for me and kind of really made me who I am, like transformed my life that way. So I just kind of want to pass that feeling on to other people. Totally. Just kind of the togetherness. But basically, in terms of sound, like I would say I blend boom bap with pop and kind of sounds that I'm trying to move forward with and kind of push the genre. Like I definitely am inspired by the golden era, like the 90s, but I want to grab that sound and sort of move forward with it so that I'm not, you know, stuck in the past or anything per se.
So do you call yourself a rapper or hip hop artist? What's the difference?
I mean, Okay, well, yes, I am a rapper.
Yeah.
I prefer MC.
Okay.
You know?
What's the difference?
Well, I mean, a rapper can be anyone. Like, you know, Dr. Zeus is like a rapper. Anyone rhyming words could say they're a rapper. But an MC is like, you know, the master of ceremonies. That's the dude that gets on stage, or the woman that gets on stage and rocks the crowd. You know, hosts the show, throws the party, gets people moving. You know, connects with them. And I like to think I do that at my live shows and kind of as an extension to my music. But, you know, in terms of, like, artist, yeah, I would definitely consider myself an artist because I'm not just a MC. Like, I'm not just someone who's like, okay, you guys do all the work, I'm just going to bring the words. Like, I'm very involved in the production process, whether it's, you know, collaborating with a producer or... you know, just being able to kind of oversee the whole project in general. Like, I'm very, very hands-on, you know, in the studio when I'm with Dunna mixing and mastering, like, you know, I'm like, tweak this, tweak that. Like, it's bigger than just rapping and then, like, being like, okay, guys, send it to me when it's done, you know?
Right, so it's kind of like being an artist but also a performer and a producer all in one.
Yeah, and it's exactly that. And I'm really trying to actually sharpen my producing chops as sort of like a composer and an actual beat maker and stuff. That's something I'm going to be really focusing on once this campaign wraps up, so that I can just, you know, continually grow as a creative, because right now my skill set is definitely strongest in rap, but I don't want it to stop there. You know, as you know, I'm really interested in film and stuff like that, so I want to have really good music videos that tell stories, but also just like soundscapes as opposed to just like loops.
Yeah.
You know.
So why, I guess the question is, did you get into that genre in the first place?
Rap specifically? Yeah. Honestly, when I was just listening to it when I was younger, I just thought it was like super cool, and I found it relatable because there were so many different rappers I could listen to. But I don't know, man, as I'm sure you're listening, I have a lot of words that I'm saying all the time, and it was just like cool to hear it and someone be able to so vividly tell a story, you know, like they could really like lay it down for me, you know, like, yeah, like singing and stuff is amazing, and there's some sick songs like that, but rap just like wrote me in, and I was kind of just like, well, I'm gonna try that, and it kind of just went from there.
Was it a need to want to cram as much of a message into your kind of creative artwork as possible? I mean, when someone sings really fast, it doesn't really sound necessarily the greatest, but when someone raps really fast, you're like, wow, that guy's sick.
Yeah, like there's definitely like a balance. Like, I don't know if it necessarily came from trying to have as many words as possible, but to have the option to, like, I could, you know, to have a verse, a 16-bar verse, so you can say a lot in that time, depending how you do things. So I just liked it that I could be so vivid. Right. I think was like I could get a message across very clearly.
Right. So who was the first hip hop artist you would have listened to? Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember when I was like pretty young. You know, my mom never let me listen to music with swears, so I really honestly didn't get exposed to raps.
Yeah.
Shout out to my mom.
I was the same way. I couldn't even watch The Simpsons when I was young.
Dude, me too, man. Yeah, she used to get rattled about it. Like, bless her soul though. But I remember when I was pretty young. Hearing like Eminem on the radio, honestly, like early 2000s. That was like the first time I was like, that I can remember anyways, that I was exposed to like rap and hip hop, and I remember thinking it was awesome then. Like I thought his CDs were hilarious.
Yeah. What was the first one? Was it You're Younger Than Me? So that would have been probably the Eminem show that you would have listened to?
Yeah, I remember that one was really messed up.
That was like 2001 or 2002?
I remember like really hearing it and getting more into it in like 2005 when I was in grade 5. So he already had like a few out. Yeah. And yeah, like they were pretty messed up. But it was cool because it was something that was like truly, I mean, groundbreaking in the sense that it was like disrupting. Like it was art. Like it was disruptive. That's why, you know, like parents didn't want you to listen to it. So like it almost like I wanted to listen to it because they said I couldn't. When I got to it, I was like, what the hell is this? Like it was great. I remember this one time, Eminem has a song called like Ass Like That, and it's just like a really weird song where he just like puts on a funky accent and talks about butts the whole time. I remember the first time it came on, because we were burning CDs at the time. That was the thing, going on LimeWire, burning CDs. A girl in my class did it for me. And I brought the CD. I was like, Mom, like let's spin this, you know? And then that song came on, and she got really mad about it. It was like, oh my God, listen to all this crap. And then later, I somehow got the CD back in rotation, and she thought it was funny, and then it was cool.
Eminem's, to me, he's the ultimate lesson in perspective, right? Like, if you go back into the middle of all his controversy and his lawsuits and what he was rapping about, it was just so tumultuous. But now you look 10, 15, 20 years down the line, and he's like the most highly respected hip hop artist, the most highly.
That's what you asked for, yeah.
Well, I mean, like one of like as a rapper, and like one of the most highly decorated, awarded guy, and he's a guy who could go meet the president if he wanted to, right?
Yeah.
And he was rapping about drugs and all sorts of other stuff. Well, let's not get into it.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a really good example of just like do your thing, man. And if you like doing your thing, then just keep doing it for as long as you can. And eventually, if you're good, people will come around.
I like to think so. Yeah, I think if I think it has to come from a place of like authenticity, like being true to myself and making like the music that I want to make. I remember when I was first starting to rap, I was like really concerned about what other people are going to think. And like, don't get me wrong, like, if a bunch of people told me like close to me, oh hey man, that song sucks, like I'm gonna take a step back and like be like, does this song suck?
Right.
But at the end of the day, like ease up. I confidently dropped that, and if people would have told me they didn't like it, I would have been like, why? So I can improve. But like I'm still playing that song at shows because I think it's really dope. So
it's really tough too, because sometimes people like music and they can't articulate why it is. Our feeling, the place of feeling in the brain comes from the part of the brain that doesn't process language; it processes emotion. So we have a tough time putting into words. Hey, I like this because of X, Y, Z. Right? Yeah. So how do you find that you try and tap into what you enjoy, what makes you feel the best, and what is your style of music?
So in terms of tapping into what I enjoy, I like to think I listen to like a pretty wide array of stuff. Mostly, honestly, lately it's been mostly rap. Like I try and definitely expand outside that, but mostly it's been rap. Oh, there's the siren.
Yeah, that's good. They're doing their job.
Yeah, fair. So in terms of like putting together like, sorry, what was the question? I got off topic there.
The question was, how do you tap into what you really resonate with? Like how do you find your groove and your style of music?
I think in terms of finding my groove, like emotionally, I think it just kind of depends on how I'm feeling when I sit down to write, because like sometimes I have a really good day, and I'll kind of want to ride that positivity into a track, and other days 10 XYZ happened where it was just super whack, and it's like, I got to express myself. I might not necessarily talk about my day in specific, but I'll just sort of try and encapsulate that feeling in a track, because as we were talking about the other day, it's like start with why. So like if I know why I'm making something, that's gonna resonate with someone. And in terms of like style, I think just being true to myself. Like I haven't even 100% figured it out, honestly, but
you're sampling, trying different things right now.
Yeah, like I really am trying different stuff. Like I got a pretty big beat pack right now from a mix of talented producers that I'm just like, I'll put them on loop and just write something and see what happens. No, it didn't work. At least I tried. Like eventually I'm gonna get there if I keep doing it. Yeah. But in terms of figuring out my own style, it's just kind of how I'm feeling that day. Maybe what I've been listening to a little bit more recently might influence it a little more directly. But
there's nothing new. We're all based on other influences.
Totally, exactly, yeah. Like I'm trying to innovate, but like I'm still gonna sound like my favorite people to an extent,
But you always come from a place of positivity, right?
I try to, yeah.
Have you ever created from a place of anger? Frustration?
Totally, yeah. Like when I was younger, when I first started rapping, I wrote a track or a verse, I suppose, to dedicate it to my dad because he had passed away, and at the time I had come to peace with it to an extent, but I was still like,
we need to talk about what happened.
With my father?
Yeah, well, how did he pass away?
So he, unfortunately, he was heading out to so he worked on the rigs. It was pretty sad. It was his last shift out in the patch, and we don't know exactly what happened, but he ended up getting into a head-on collision with a semi, so obviously that was...
And you were, what, 12, 13?
12, yeah, I was 12. I was like, I was in grade 7.
Yeah. How did you process that? What went through your head?
Man, it was, it's a lot, obviously. I don't know, like, I kind of just wanted to stay positive. Like, it was obviously really, really sad, and I think it really hit my mom and my sister hard, my little sister. It definitely did, and... It was a lot to process. It was kind of just like, wow, like my dad's like literally not gonna come home from work this time. So it was heavy. But in terms of like processing it, I think I just kind of focused on the things that were good in my life at the time. I definitely, when I was younger, before I got into music, like, just playing sports and stuff was like a really good escape. I remember I used to play a lot of video games when I was younger. So that was like one way that I sort of, I guess, escape from dealing with it, but eventually obviously I had to come to terms with it.
Did you step up kind of knowing you had to for your mom and your sister?
I think kind of instinctually, like I tried to be really like positive, but like obviously as a kid, like you can't just be the man of the house all of a sudden. Well, you can try, but I mean, there's definitely strained relationships with my mom sometimes, like just because, you know, if I would act out for something I couldn't even understand, and then like she's the only person there to sort of watch me and my sister, and you know, so I think instinctually I tried to, like definitely ways I didn't, but now for sure I definitely, you know, play the best role that I can.
But you realize that our time is limited, and that you got to make the most of it, right?
100%.
It's too short not to pursue what you really want to do.
Yeah, and just like being a good person and like just helping with the little things around the house, like it's just like second nature, you know. Like it's not like pulling teeth or anything. Just being helpful to my mom because she's done so much for me. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So then you kind of started getting in sampling, playing around with a little bit of music and rapping, and then at what point did you go from like, hey, like this is a fun little pastime on the weekends to like, no, this is what I want to make my career?
So there was sort of a few kind of points. Like I remember I was listening to Childish Gambino. I don't know if you know him, but he had this track called Freaks and Geeks that was like just punchline after punchline after punchline. I thought it was so dope. And then like at that point that was sort of like, okay, like I remember like listening to the track and like reading the lyrics and like memorizing it, and I was like, this is crazy.
That's Donald Glover?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So then I had sort of, at that point I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try like rapping for real. And then I remember trying to write raps and then just like doing it. Like I was terrible. I couldn't even rap to a beat. Like it was bad, but I basically just kept writing till I got it enough, I suppose. And then kind of in like 2013 I released like a little music video on YouTube, and
I like that one. What was that called?
The first one I released was called Duke Westlake Cypher. I pulled that one off there though.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen that.
But then the next one is the one you're talking about called Stuck With It. I dropped that one like 3 weeks later. I put them pretty close together, and they both got like really, really positive. Well, they got mixed reviews because people are haters, but and they weren't like
you're not pissing people off. You're not doing something
exactly, right. Yeah. And that was the thing, is that they did really well. Like I remember the first video got like 4,000 or 5,000 views in the first 4 or 5 days. So like it went, and it was like crazy because I had like no, you know, like I was just like a dude who like said he was a rapper.
No experience. You're just doing it.
Yeah, and I just like did it. So I remember when I did that, I was like, oh hell yeah, this is awesome. Like I love it. This is so fun. And then kind of just kept chugging along, and like I was and then I started opening for acts, and like that's when I was like really, you know, starting to get into it and like pursue it. Like touring acts coming to Edmonton and stuff, started playing bigger shows. That was kind of like a lot of momentum. But then in 2015, you know, I had 2014 I won the Hot 107 Hot Factor, which was like, okay, like this is serious. Like I'm recognized by like a big radio station here, you know, it's happening. And then in 2015 I won something called the Bell Media Prize, which let me go to Toronto for 10 weeks to do Canada's Music Incubator's Artist Entrepreneur Program. I said that a bunch of times, that's a mouthful, but basically it was like a 10-week program on how to be you know, a self-managed artist, how to be an entrepreneur, how to approach things like that. So once I went there, it like really like lit a flame, because I was always really interested in the music business, because I was like, hey, like, you know, this promoter's doing that, like how can I work around these gatekeepers, or how can I build with them, etc., etc. And that just really sparked it, and I was like, okay, no, for sure, I'm definitely going to be a player in this industry. And then, you know, then I came, like before I even went, then I won the People's Choice Award at the EMAs, the MTV
Great
Awards.
Commercials for that, by the way.
Thank you, yeah. Thank you, man. So kind of like those two things really close together. I was just like, okay, like, yeah, I think I'm made for this. Like I have the right kind of hustle and person, and people are responding to me positively. So at that point, it was really dope. And then kind of just leading up to this Kickstarter was sort of the other thing where I was like, yeah, I need to actively take steps to make this my day job, because it's not about money, but if I'm able to actually like make a project and tour and, you know, sell these shirts, they sell tickets to shows, then I can actually make it my business, and then I don't have to go work my day job, and I can be an artist. So there was sort of like another sort of realization where I was like, hey, every single thing I need to do needs to help me get there in one way or another, directly or indirectly. So
every step you took, you kind of saw that there was 3 or 4 more steps you needed to take, and but being willing to take those steps is what gets you to success.
100%.
We're at a really interesting time now. Like in the past, people all of a sudden get famous, but because of, you know, lack of YouTube in the past or lack of content in the past. We just saw them when they became famous. We didn't see all the hustle and the struggle and even shit for lots and lots of years.
Yeah.
And so you're in that process right now. Do you find now that we're able to understand that everyone struggles before no one does it until they do it, you know?
Yeah, like you pretty much, like you said, you have to eat shit for a while, and it's like funny, it's like people, they're like, you're an overnight success, and it's like, it took 10 years to get the overnight, like, so, you know,
it's like you're so lucky. It's like, that's funny. The harder I work, the luckier I seem to be.
Yeah, no, actually, I've corrected a lot of people on that shit when they're like, yo, man, like, you won the EMA, like, you're so lucky. I'm like, no, like, I hit up all my fans and was like, let's do this, like, let's be the people's choice, like, together, and like a hustle, like, you can, like, and it's just like you said, you got to eat shit until, like, you're not, basically. So
how do you go about providing value for your fans or your would-be fans so that they're on board with your message, so that they can connect, so your words don't just ring like a catchphrase, so that they know that you live it, you believe it, and that they want to be a part of it? Like
I said, just kind of like being the same dude I am, like, talking to you right now, that I'm with music. Like, obviously, you know, like, you can exaggerate things and, like, fictionalize stories and stuff like that, but I think just like I said, like, being the same dude that, like,
you're always happy.
I focus on it,
every day I see you, always got a smile on your face. You're always talking to someone, doing cool things.
I try to, man. Thank you.
I see it as very genuine with you.
Word, man. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, and I think that's something that's definitely contributed to my success, is just like, if I can provide someone an experience when they come to the show, not only on stage but after, when they meet me, I'm like, not a piece of shit. They're like, oh, nice, like, wow, like, you're actually, like, my buddy, like, and then, you know, you retain people that way, and I think it's super important to do that, like, to provide experience, like, from when they walk in the door to when they leave, and that's actually something I'm really trying to work on for my CD release parties, making it more than, I don't want to get too much into it because it's in beta or alpha phases, but I think if the thing is, people won't even remember your face or your name, but if they'll remember how you feel, right?
Or you made them
how I made them feel. Yeah. So I think if I go on there, play an awesome show, give them a hug after, like, take the selfie, you know, be like, hit me up, and then, like, actually, like, hit them back when they hit me up. I think that's,
you gotta be accessible, my bread and butter. Right?
Yeah,
you
man,
gotta be
like,
relatable,
dude. Yeah, like, I don't know, man. I know some artists that are like, think they're so cool, and I'm like, bro, you're not that cool. Like, I don't know, like some, I mean, like, they see these superstars pretending they're so sick and being all cocky and stuff, but it's like, okay, but that guy has, like, a major label behind him, dude. Like, you still live with your mom, like, you're not that hard, dog. But
being a good person always pays off, always.
Dude, yeah, man. And, like, I can't even believe some of the things I see people in, like, Facebook comments and stuff like that. I don't know, I think it's just being the change you want to see, man. Just, like, really being positive that way.
So I want to ask you a few questions, and I want to be respectful of your time, because I know we all got things to do when you're in the middle of a big week here. But what's your favorite performance or most memorable performance for you?
Oh, of my own?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one.
So far, what has been the pinnacle being on stage for you?
Well, I think opening for J. Cole at the Shock Conference was really cool. There's like 4,000 people there. It wasn't like the dopest show in my respect, because I was, like, still pretty new in my career, so I didn't, like, smash it per se, but I think that was, like, really, really cool. Just trying to think of, like, some really dope shows. When I remember a clothing company I work with called Bomb Clothing, they did, like, a release party for one of their lines, and then me and my dude Conch and Lot D headlined the event. We smashed it. It was crazy because it was like all the homies. That one was crazy, man. Like, headbanging. You know, my first and second CD release parties for my old mixtapes were crazy. You know, second one was the first time I ever crowd surfed, so that was crazy. And then, yeah, just kind of, there's been a handful of opening shows, like when I opened for Little Dicky in February, opened for him twice, like played the main show, and then the after party. Yeah, thank you, man. It was sick. Like, it was the perfect niche. People loved it. You know, literally sold out of my shirts that day. So it's a good day. Like, I don't know. Like, there's been a lot of pretty cool experiences. Like, Iron Mike Music Festival was dope. One Love Music Festival was crazy.
Well, the important thing for you, I think, is that you enjoy all of it, right? You're really loving this process,
dude. Yeah, I don't know.
It's not just like, oh, that was only 100 people, or that was only 500 people. I can see that you see the good in all of them, which is awesome.
Man, if there's 10 people there, I'm still emptying the tank. Like, it's still they're still like paying to see me. So like,
yeah,
and it's sick. Like I don't know, man. I think if you're not in love with the process, you're in the wrong game. So
for sure. If you could collab with one artist out there today, who would that be? Or add a wrinkle to it, alive or dead.
Oh man, I think it'd be cool to alive or dead. Well then, dead. I think it'd be cool to do some bars with Biggie Smalls. That'd be dope. Yeah. Obviously.
Okay, alive.
Oh man, I think like there's some pretty crazy people. I think. Like J. Cole would be cool. Kendrick would obviously be crazy. Childish Gambino, of course. So like, yeah, those are probably those three would be sick.
Yeah, you can be the light chocolate to their dark.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have any favorite failures? Has there been anything that you just bombed, but you learned like an incredible lesson from?
Man, I fuck up all the time.
That's why you're so smart, right?
I try. I mean, I think it's so funny. I sound like a broken record, but I'm like, I chalk it up to a learning experience. It's almost like it's a catchphrase, but
either win or you learn.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
If you stop trying.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know if just trying to think of like a monumental like screw up that I've done. I think in the long term, I think opening for all these big artists and like not just basically selling tickets for someone else's show, I think hurt me in the long term. And I think it made me realize the value of people that actually want to follow me and they're willing to come pay for tickets and get my shirts and come see me. So I think in the long term, it was just not focusing on my own brand and like not aligning with people who actually wanted to see me grow, who just wanted to use me.
But isn't that practice? Like, don't you have to get up there? You have to get exposed. You have to know what it's like before. Like, you can't start doing it. It's really like a catch-22. You can't do it till you've done it. Yeah,
and for that reason, that's why I don't think it was necessarily a failure. It was where I failed myself is that I did it for too long without realizing. Because I was like opening for like so many shows, and I wasn't even writing new music. So, and then I think my other failure was sort of, I don't want to call it a failure, but it's just, I guess, my process, my path. But I definitely got out of touch with creating for a while. I was more focused, like I said, on the business stuff. I got ignited. I was like, I want to be a player. Like, I got some big dreams with this. And now I'm like, okay, like, that's dope. I can be my own manager now. But, like, first and foremost, I'm an artist. So I think kind of getting out of touch with art that way was bad. And then just not spending my time properly, like, as efficiently as I can as an entrepreneur. In the last few years and stuff, just like doing stupid shit, partying, whatever, like that was definitely not the best use of my time.
You're focused now. You don't drink, right?
Gave it up, man, over a year and a half. I don't know if anyone listening to this knows that, but I didn't say anything at 1 year. I just kind of was like, nice, kind of quiet
incredible.
Confidence. Yeah, it's arguably the best choice I ever made for my life, for sure.
I stopped for 10 months last year, and in that 10 months I accomplished more than I did, I feel, probably in the 5-6 years that preceded that.
Totally,
it's just unbelievable when you're clear, you're not distracted, you just eliminate all that garbage.
Totally.
And I'm back on that, so we'll see how long this one goes.
Congrats, man. Yeah, no, it's just funny you say that, because in the last year and a half I've experienced the most personal growth ever, you know, and
just gives you clarity, gives you time to reflect, be alone with your thoughts,
and then also realize that I actually like have anxiety that I need to like deal with and understand, and like that, going out drinking or playing Xbox is just gonna put it off and waste of time. Exactly. So
you're moving forward or you're moving backwards. There's no neutral.
Yeah, I mean, like, or if you're chilling, then ultimately you're just not moving forward, which is moving backwards. So
because time keeps moving forward, so
it's the only thing you can't get back.
Objective, from a standpoint, you are going backwards.
Yeah, so I'm trying to give her, basically, point case.
That's awesome. What do you do to improve every day? How do you learn? How do you get better? Like, an athlete practices, an athlete does, contact, no contact practice, skills, teamwork.
Yeah.
What do you do as an artist and as an entrepreneur as well?
So I think time management, getting that skill unlock is probably the most important thing, because if you can time manage and plan your weeks and stuff like that, you can make time to do these things. So I think first and foremost, it's making time. I think listening to music all the time is so important. Like, every time I'm on the train, even if I'm just like chilling at home doing whatever, as long as I'm not like reading or something, I can put some music on. I might even put instrumental stuff on while I'm reading so that the words don't clash. But yeah, it's just making time. Like, for example, like producing, I bought a machine and I'll do like learn some drum breaks, just like something simple like that. When you want to work on your voice, it's like you can do breathing exercises, listening to the singers you want to emulate, actually singing, you know. But I think it's just kind of time management. If for anyone listening to it, I think time management's the biggest thing, is just giving yourself the time, and then also strategic direction, focusing on the things you need to focus on in that moment, like what's most important today. So, and it's just being able to identify those things and work on them. But yeah, as a musician, just listening to music, immersing yourself, going to shows, just studying everything, enjoying it first and foremost, but also just being like, why did I enjoy it? Just questioning things a little more.
If you had a magic red button right here that fast forwarded your life 5 years, what does your life look like in an ideal situation 5 years from now?
That's a good question, man. I would say, you know, success in an artist in the sense that, of course, like charting and Grammys and Junos and all that would be wicked. But yeah, I think just like overall positive change. Like, you know, eventually I want to start up. It'd be cool to do my own like record label or my own imprint or something like that, but beyond just music, but like culture, in terms of like film and photo and just content in general. And then I think, you know, maybe down the road get into like investing as well, and like tech and stuff like that, stocks, you know, whatever's popping really. I think I don't know, I just want to be a mogul, honestly, but like in a positive way. And I just think, you know, fight the good fight kind of thing.
To what end though you want to be a mogul, and what do you want that to allow you to do?
I mean, I would love to be powerful so that I could cause like, you know, positive change, like you know, like end racism. That would be sick, you know, just like or sort of, you know, phase it out by just being able to use my platform to have those conversations. You know, I call people out all the time. Like, I'm like, why would you say some shit like that? Like,
what do you think our biggest problem in society is right now? Like, what if you could help? Yeah, exactly. But if you could choose one cause or one thing that you could majorly impact at this point, what path would you go down?
Oh man.
I mean, you mentioned racism. Have you ever faced racism?
I mean,
it sounds weird, but in the industry you're in, right?
I mean, sort of. I don't think it's. I mean, just like as a white dude, like, yeah, people can say shit to me, but it hasn't actually stopped me or hurt me, I guess. So no, I would say. I mean, I would say no, I have not. But I don't know, man. I think it's really just getting people to stop trying to climb over each other and like step on each other on the way up, like or just learn to love the next person next to you. Like, I think that'll cure everything. Like, literally, if we could just get along, like, it would be fine. Like, I know it sounds like it's more complex than that, but
it's really not. It's really not. If you live that every day, and if you're good to everyone you meet, that starts a movement. And if they're good to everyone they meet, all of a sudden, no one's being shitty to the other person.
Yeah, if everyone could stop being a dick for 10 seconds, that'd be sick. So I think, and that's what I said kind of earlier, be the change you want to see, you know?
Yeah.
That's I sincerely mean that. So I mean, there's a million problems. Like, we could that could be a whole other podcast, just talking about what's wrong.
Well, I think living a day to day is the first step to doing that, right? Set the example, and at least if you can impact just walking around the street 5, 6, 7 people, then you're already making a net positive versus a negative.
Totally, yeah.
So what's next for you now? You've got this Kickstarter. You're going to keep pumping that out for how many more days?
It's done on the 17th. I think it's like 23
days to go, it says.
Yeah. Well, I'm giving her... What's it at right now?
It's at... Oh, let me refresh. What was it at last time you saw it? It's at 54.50.
Nice.
5,450.
Yeah, I think it was at like 52 or something before I went to sleep.
Guys, go to Kickstarter, search Mitchell Lawler, Spread Love with Mitchell Lawler's EP Day 1. Donate as much as you can.
Contribute, pick a reward. There's one that's right for you, I promise.
There's fantastic rewards here.
Yeah, you contributed. You're the man. I appreciate you. You're gonna look nice in that t-shirt.
I think you're doing great things, and I'm excited to see where you go. I know that you're doing it for the right reasons, so that's so important. So after the Kickstarter, throughout the Kickstarter, then what are the next couple steps here for you?
Well, as you know, what this whole Kickstarter is about is making a record. So it's going to be, you know, completing the writing process, really hammering out a bunch of awesome tracks, and then picking the best of the best and making sure it's cohesive, and then taking that to the studio, you know, pursuing some grants and just working to save money so I can go from there. But basically getting videos and putting it out into the world, and then touring and just kind of building the business that way, connecting with more people, definitely going to focus on Western Canada, but who knows, like I've got some friends out east in Toronto that, you know, are players, so hopefully get that in their hands and see where it goes. But yeah, man, I think just grow as an artist and just grow my music business. I think really the next step, man, is like I said, is just trying to become a full-time artist, because if I can do that, you know, if I don't even have to work a part-time gig, that means I'm doing pretty well, and then suddenly I can put my 80 hours into music instead of 40 hours at my day job, and then, you know, the other 40 that I can pull up throughout the day to music. So I think that'd be game changing. I'd probably have better mental health too. Yeah, I'd like to think so, but
that's the dream.
Yeah, man. So that's just going for it. Yeah, empty the tank and get to that 5-year goal we were talking about. Just being influential, positively influential, you know.
Yeah, perfect. Cool, man. Well, I'll let you get out of here. Appreciate the time. Anything else you want to say to these guys?
If you listen this far, thank you. That's pretty cool of you to take your time to do that.
They're all listening for my guests, not for me. So so that's all you, man. So thank you for bringing out the audience, and I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
I want you to do
platform.
one thing for me.
What's up?
I want you to put out more content.
Yes.
I want you to do like at least weekly. I want to see more, because I went back and watched all your videos last night. All your like
calling me out.
all your teen people, like or not teen people, People's Choice Award.
Yeah.
Man, you got some acting chops,
dude. Thank you. I mean, even like working on Puppy Love, like it really inspired me, and I was like, damn, I really want to do film, man. Like, I don't think I want to be a production assistant in the freezing cold again. I'd probably do it for Mike, but I mean, anyone else, I don't know.
I've never seen someone stand that many hours in the cold with a smile on their face. You were fantastic.
Thank you, bro.
It was incredible.
I held a lot of
you brought up the spirits of a lot of people on that set.
Thank you. Wow.
I want
that's really
more
nice.
content out of you, because you're only gonna reach more people if you put out more stuff.
Yeah, it's like, what kind of rapper doesn't have songs, right? That's what I'm asking.
Well, not even just music, just like little bits and videos. Like, I want to see you in the studio. I want to see what you're doing, man. Like, and other people do too, right?
I like to think so. Yeah. So
I see the process.
Yeah, man. I think I'm gonna be able to do that. Me and my boy Tino teamed up. We got a pretty nice like camera setup. So hopefully gonna pump out content that way. I'm surrounded by a lot of amazing people, and now that I'm just like doing more things more consistently, it's much easier to document and be like, here's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
you don't have to fake it.
Yeah. No. Exactly. So if I'm not wasting my time, I'm just like, here's what I did today. You know, I've been definitely starting with the Instagram stories, getting lots of viewers on there, which has been cool. But yeah, man, more content, more photos, boomerangs, whatever, everything in between. I definitely want to do. It's funny. Thanks for the acting chops comment, because I definitely want to do like more comedy and stuff. I think is really cool, and I just like appreciate that. So we'll see where everything goes. But I think there's so many things I want to do, man.
I laughed out loud on the one where you're in the house and Shelby opens the door and that guy walks out.
That's Tino. Yeah,
that was good.
Thank you, man. Yeah, me and Tino put that script together, and Shelby did a really good job on it too. And that there's so many more things to come. I just got to make sure I really like focus on my record first and foremost, and document it along the way and tell my story, and then, like I said, once I have a little more free time, a little more connections, a little more resource, more hopefully funding to do things, I will most certainly do more. So.
Absolutely. And I think if there's one thing I want to come out of this podcast, it's to encourage people to just start doing. Start trying.
Do it. Yeah.
Just stop talking about it. Don't say I'm going to.
Don't
just
speculate.
Do it.
The best.
The more you talk about something, the less you do it.
Truly.
Yeah.
Here we are on a podcast talking about rap. No, seriously, if I could go back in time and like look myself in the mirror, it'd be like, stop reading about the music business, go like rap and then see what happens. Yeah, because like I did that really good when I first started, was made a bunch of stuff and got out there, and then I just started learning. I was like, how can I use this? How can I use this? But it was like, I need more of this to use to do like some more content. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So.
Right on, Mitch. Thanks for coming in today.
Hey, man.
Appreciate
Thank you for having me, bro.
Later, dude. Guys, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. The only thing I have left to say, please go donate to Mitch's Kickstarter. Search Mitch Lawler Kickstarter on Google. That's it. That's all. Super easy. You'll be happy you did. Thanks. Take care.